Hi Mama, Sandy here with a follow-up on our last Baby and Me yoga class. And I wanted to give you a routine that you can do at home that can be backed up by the take-home sheet that I've provided for you. So joining me is Buppy Puppy, and he'll be acting as my surrogate baby to help with the asana poses. I always like to begin by setting the intention, a little bit of connection time. So just hold your baby into you, and you know they love hearing the sound of their name. So whisper sweet nothings into their ears as you connect. You could also do this if you had your baby resting on the ground on a baby blanket and maybe just have your hands on their belly, getting that closeness. And you're using your slow, deep, rhythmic, yogic breaths that help them know this is our time to relax, we're at ease. After you've done this, you can place baby on the floor directly in front of you. You see Buppy Puppy's head's down. And you'll just bring your hands on top of baby, or on either side of your baby. How about not on top of your baby? Either side. And you're going to move through cat and cow. And as we did in class, we made the sounds meow and moo a couple times, toggling back and forth. And you remember that the older babies were really engaged by this and loved the sound and started giggling. And you could even then move into downward facing dog by picking your hips up, shifting your weight back, move that out of the way, and again making the sound woof, woof. Little dogs, big dogs, not scaring your baby. Back to hands and knees. And we did plank push-ups in class, so that would be stepping your legs back a little bit, so body's in a nice straight line. And you're just going up and down. And each time you're coming down, you're wrapping your arms in at your sides and coming down. So you want to actually kiss your baby when you come down. So as you press down and rise up. And on your last one, I'd say work up to 10 if you can. On the last one, you'll sit your hips back into child's pose. And you could even say to baby, where did mama go? Where's mama? As your head is down. Careful that they don't pull your hair, because they are really good at grabbing that. And then you might come up and say, surprise, here I am. All right, so after that, we like to stand up, and you'll actually do tree pose standing, and you're in the tree pose. And when you're doing this, you can just hold your baby. And bigger babies you could have up and be doing like a little shoulder style. Buppy Puppy's getting lost back there, but you can imagine if you were holding and you just have your hands behind securing at their butt. So you'd be standing up and doing your tree pose, first side and second side. And in between, I really like to do the swirlies. I wasn't able to capture this on your take-home sheet, so I'll say it now in video. It's bringing your hand underneath their bottom, and there's weight is kind of on your wrist joint, and you're going to circle around one direction and other direction. What you're trying to do is mimic this sort of movement that you can do so easily for yourself for them. All right? After you've done the tree pose and the swirlies, you're going to move into warrior posture 2. So I'm going to start by bringing my right foot forward, left foot behind, soft bend to your knees, and baby could be facing in, kind of riding legs on either side of your leg, or they can face out. All babies are different now. Smaller babies you could have cradled in to you like this. And you do this on this side, and then we do it on the second side. And then if you remember in class how we were doing the shake it out when we were done. Shake it out. Because babies love that. Make the sound. What do? We shake it out, right? All right, after the standing poses, it's nice to come down to a seated position. We worked with inversions of babies, and everybody in our class loved it. Now, this is not right for all babies, but you can hold from the hips and gently invert, and I just like to hold baby in close to me. That way, if they get a little wiggly, you can kind of really quickly save it. But most babies, you'll see what happens is they even kind of arch their back a little bit, or they might even move a little bit. That sensation of gravity as they're able to just hang can really help them let go of any sort of subluxations that they might have in the spine. Now, I really only hold this about 3 to 5 breaths. You could certainly do this in front of a mirror, A, because your baby thinks it's awesome to see themselves and they think they're so silly, and B, because you can be watching them, and when they start getting a little red in the face, then it'd just be time to guide them back up. And you just want to take a couple minutes here, because that can be a little stimulating, so let them know what a great job they did, positive reinforcement, and then you may choose to do it a second time. I would caution you against doing this after baby's just eaten, right? Enough said. Okay, and then from there we can do baby tree pose. So you'd have your baby's feet on the ground, And you just help guide one leg in, and then you do the second side, guide their leg in. And this kind of helps them get the sensation of what it's like to step. Imagine my leg was the ground. To just kind of get that feeling for babies who aren't even really doing any sort of stepping yet. But it's just part of the developmental process and getting used to different ways we move in space. And then the last pose that we'll do is the flying angel. And that's when you are lying on your back and your baby was on your shins, like so. And I usually do baby facing down. Be aware that you're going to get a little bit of drool. Your head is resting on your yoga mat. And I'm going to move back so you can see the line of my legs. Your legs are parallel with the ground. And you're going to press your heels forward, straight forward towards the wall in front of you. And then bring it back. Take it straight out and bring it back. Straight out. Do this several times or until baby kind of says that's enough. And then to safely get them down, you're just going to separate your legs and allow them to kind of come down onto your chest. Now you could certainly do this leg work with baby on your chest. That would work just fine. And then I always like to finish practice. You know, in traditional yoga we do Shavasana. In the Baby and Me yoga class, it's a little bit of a joke that you're going to get a real relaxation in, but I kind of have reframed this as cuddle time. You could certainly use this time to feed your baby or just nestle up with them. Maybe do a little bit of the massage techniques that we had discussed in class. Just that gentle touch and connection time is so nice. Just moving back to your slow, deep breaths. And that is the end of the Baby and Me yoga practice that we co-created together. And I appreciate you in my life. Thank you for creating such beautiful babies that will go out in the world and do great things. Namaste.